Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. My name is Connor. It is so great to see you here. I hope you're all keeping well and safe. A lot of you have been asking me questions lately about what gear I use. So I thought it would be pretty useful to make a video on it just so you guys know. And so today I'm going to be talking about my daily carry, in which I'll just let you know what I bring with me whenever I'm going out on a shoot, whether I'm just doing a personal shoot, whatever it may be. This is what we're going to be talking about today. So to start off, personally, I am a Canon shooter. So my main camera is the Canon EOS R. Now I love this camera. It is perfect for me for photography, but even it has some really awesome video capabilities. And as much as we may know about Canon and the dreaded crop when you're using 4K, it does have the 4K ability, which even when it is cropped in, it just still looks awesome. I've been using this camera for the guts of about a year or two now, and still I just find that it works perfectly for me and what I need. It's small, it's light, it's easy to carry, and I just bring it everywhere with me. I love the fact that it's a full frame camera and it has 30.3 megapixels, which means if I take a shot and decide that I want to crop in on that, it really retains the detail in that, which I love about it. Even though the EOS R is a photography focused camera, you can do some incredible things with it. Whether it's 4K 24 frames per second or 1080p in 60 frames per second, or even up to 120 frames per second. Now, the only drawback with using 120 frames per second, which is the reason why I don't use it so often, is because in 120 frames, it does drop the quality down to 750p. But I mean, even the quality of the image at that resolution still looks pretty damn good. So moving on to the next piece of equipment that I always keep in my bag is my 24 to 105 f4 lens. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I only actually own two lenses, and one of them was a kit lens that I got when I first bought this Canon 750D. What I love most about this lens is that it is so diverse. I bring it with me everywhere just because I know that if I want to be shooting up close and personal, it is going to give me some incredible bokeh in the background, and it gives you such crispy, sweet shots. But even if I decide that I want to get something more zoomed out, whether I'm outdoors, if I'm up in the mountains, whatever it may be, it accommodates that as well, and that's another reason why I just love it, and probably another reason why I don't own any more lenses. Even though, of course, in future I will invest in a lot more gear, I'm pretty sure, because I'm constantly on my laptop here looking at new things and pricing them and seeing when I'll be able to afford them. But for now, I love keeping my kit simple. So this one camera, the EOS R, and this one lens have done wonders for what I have been producing, and you can even have a look on my Instagram feed. I feel that if you want to grasp a little more of the quality of this camera lens combo, you can see I have a few photos here that you can, well, I mean, you can determine yourself whether they're good or not, but I feel that the sharpness is just perfect for me. Like as you can see here with this little fella that I took a photo of when we went out hiking last week. I mean, it is cropped in a little bit, but you can just tell like there is still so much detail retained in the photo. And this is zoomed all the way into 105 millimeters at f5.6. But even yet, you can see that background. It is completely smooth, and it managed to capture everything that I wanted in focus just perfectly. So moving on to the next bit of gear that I always have in my camera bag, it is the Knf Concept Uv Filter. This is pretty inexpensive. Well, it's actually a super cheap piece of gear, but it is incredibly useful too. If we go onto Amazon here, you can see that it is so cheap, definitely in comparison to the price of the rest of the gear that you might have. But I'm telling you, if you don't have one, I definitely recommend you get one. Lately, I've been doing a lot of food photography, so this definitely comes in handy in case you have a little bit of splashback when either you're recording video or shooting some photos of somebody prepping some sort of food. Definitely this has saved the front of my lens on a few occasions. So yeah, if you don't have one, go get one. And since we're talking about filters, I also have recently bought the Knf 77mm variable ND filter with circular polarizer. Now the ND level goes from ND2 up to ND32, but also one of the reasons why I got this one specifically is it ensures that you don't get that horrible spot X when you go up to the higher neutral densities. So this means that I can go all the way up to 32 and then be able to shoot long exposures and all this wonderful stuff when I'm outside without any issues coming up. Now, I haven't been able to use it so much as of late, just because, you know, with the lockdown and everything, we haven't had much time outside. But I'll definitely get back to you on it and how it performs and the quality and all that and probably another video. And just taking a quick look at it here on Amazon as well, in comparison to the rest of the gear, it is also pretty inexpensive for what you get. That ND filter really helps, particularly if it's extremely sunny outside, which, okay, we may not get here in Ireland, but at the same time, you know, if you're in an environment where it's like midday or so and it's just not particularly flattering, you pop this thing on and it works incredibly well. And with the circular polarizer, that just cuts out any unwanted extra shine off any reflective surfaces, which is always a good thing too. And so moving on to the final thing that I always carry with me in a camera bag, and it is something that I would always recommend for everybody to have, is a spare battery. Guys, if you don't have a spare battery with you, what are you doing? There have been a few times that I would be shooting all day, taking photos, video, whatever it may be, and my battery just dies. And if I did not have that spare battery, that would be me done for the day. And that's something that I do not want to happen. So guys, get a spare battery. It is incredibly important. Alongside maybe a spare memory card as well. Like, I have a pretty big one that I use and I bring with me also. So this is probably the last one. So yeah, I have a 128 gig memory card that I always keep in my camera, and I have a spare one just in case I need it. Because particularly if you're shooting 4K for an extended amount of time, that will 100% eat up all of your memory. So that's pretty much it. That is all the gear that I have. It's not an incredible amount. Of course, I have some extra things that I may use on occasion, but that is pretty much everything that I bring with me every time that I go out on a shoot. If I need a gimbal, I do have the gimbals. If I decide that I need some extra gear, I will bring it with me, but just for the sake of what I bring with me every time, that is it. It's small, compact, simple, easy to carry with me. I've chosen these pieces of gear specifically because they have, let's say in the case of the lens, it has diversity and it is compact, so I don't have to carry a bunch of lenses around with me, just one that can do a lot of jobs. Now, of course, if you want to go into prime lenses, you know, they do one job really well. But I find in the case, if you're running around like a freelancer such as myself, being able to maintain that high quality just from one lens and have all those different focal lengths, that for me is exactly what the doctor ordered. So guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. It is always awesome to see you here. Make sure that you're keeping yourself safe. I hope you're all doing well. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments and in the DMs again, as always, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.